Hey guys, stop what you're doing right now. Go to your DVR. Please, please, please. Write this down. Send yourself a note. Put it in your phone. You got your phone in your hand. And just set an alarm. June 7th on Travel Channel, my show, Bert the Conqueror, premieres for its 3rd season. I am extremely proud of this product. I worked really hard. I spent the majority of my summer on it, busting my ass. And I wanted everyone to watch it. And I want you to watch it. More importantly, I want you to like it. And I want you to share it with your friends. And I want you to talk about it to other people. And the only way you can do that is by watching it. And the only way you're going to watch it is if you set a reminder. Set a reminder, set your DVR. Go look on your DVR the next. Be like, oh, that's right. Bert, I got to get this fucking show down. It's on Travel Channel. Go to Travel Channel tomorrow. Go to it tonight and take a look at all the fantastic programming we have out for you. It's amazing. Josh Gates' show, Expedition Unknown, Booze Traveler, Hotel Impossible. The list goes on. And so that's what I want to share with you. Today's podcast. Oh, I have tour dates. Shit, I have tour dates. I am doing... I should have timed this out a little better. I'm in Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis this week, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of May. I'll also be there the 25th. I'm in Schaumburg, Illinois, the 9th through 11th of June. Flappers Burbank. Come out local. Flappers Burbank on June 17th and 18th. Orlando Improv. I am back in O-Town the 24th, 25th, 26th. I've got a Showtime special coming out soon. I'll know the exact air dates of that. I think that's everything I have. I obviously have shirts and books at bertbertbert.com. My wife would like to speak to you.
I would, yes. Like to say that today's episode is brought to you by Helix Sleep. You know, night after night, 2 people lay in the same bed. When it comes time to buy a new mattress, only one of them gets their way.
No, that's not totally true.
Well, I think sometimes.
Oh, I thought you said when... yeah.
Only one person gets away. I mean, the mattress we're sleeping on is a little hard for you,
yeah,
isn't
you're
it?
right. I didn't get to pick the firmness because you wanted firmer, and so I had to put a feather bed on it.
Exactly. See, only one person got their way.
I thought I was thinking only one person got to sleep in it, and I was like, sometimes people share their room bed.
Sometimes only one person sleeps in our bed because you're on the road.
Sometimes. Oh, and when I am here, I'm snoring, and you're...
There you go. There you go.
In the mom cave.
Okay, so... only one person gets their way until now. Introducing Helix Sleep, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for both of you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to helixsleep.com and answer a few simple questions based on 4 key preferences, and the result will be a custom sleep profile used to build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on.
What, kind of like that? It's like when you build your own car when you're car shopping?
Totally. That would be kind of fun, right? So your mattress arrives in about a week, and the shipping is 100% free. And for couples, Helix customizes each side of the mattress, personalized to suit... Oh, wait a minute. They customize each side of the mattress? That means that you could have a softer side, and I could have a firmer side.
I'd like that.
That's actually awesome.
I'd like that.
Helix customers report a 30% improvement in overall sleep quality. And you have 100 nights to try it out. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up for free.
100 nights? They let you sleep in it for 3 months?
I know, right? You know that thing's going back with like bed bugs or something, chiggers, lots of, maybe not chiggers. I guess you only get those in the woods.
Fuck, are you sleeping in your mattress in the woods?
But what do they do with them when they get them back?
They flip them upside down and send them out to the next people.
I highly doubt that. Anyway, you have 100 nights to try it, and if you don't love it, they pick it up for free, and you get 100% refund.
I like that. Let's just buy one, send it back. Let's just keep doing that every 3 months.
I don't know. A little more firm.
Yeah, mine was too soft. You're talking to Cinderella over here.
It is really kind of cool, though.
Sleeping Beauty.
It is a great thing that you could like have half the mattress firm and half the mattress soft. It's like that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem with something like a Sleep Number bed is I would forget my number. This way, there's no number. You just it's the same. I like that. So that's why everyone from GQ Magazine to Forbes are all talking about Helix Sleep. So go to helixsleep.com/Bert and get $50 off your order. That's Helix Sleep, HELIX, like Felix, but Helix, sleep.com/Bert. Helix.com/Bert.
All this talk about beds is making me sleep. All right. Is that all you want to share?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay.
And buy a t-shirt. Bert.com. Bertcast.com.
Yeah. Our P.O. Box is 707 North Hollywood, California.
Send us treats.
91603.
10-4.
And you don't put 10-4 in that, jackass. Hey, guys, I'm going to be trying something new coming up this next couple weeks. The vlog has been a blast, but it's been really difficult. I'm not really good at giving notes, and I'm not really good at the full edit. I'm going to try something new, so get ready for it. I think it's going to come out. I'm going to do my first one maybe next week or the week after that. But it should be fun. It should be cool. Should be different, and I think you guys will like it. So yeah. And I won't tell you exactly what it is yet in case I don't do it at all. but today's podcast was a fantastic podcast. It was so fun, and I'm releasing this today because his album drops Friday. He is a comic. He's worked at the store. He's been at the store his whole career. I've known him for a long time. I've known of him longer than I've known him. But he's one of those guys that is synonymous with just good times at the store. He's got a podcast with Kevin Christie called Occasionally Awesome. I think that's what it's called. It's on All Things Comedy. Occasionally Awesome. God, I'm good. And his new album, his name's Nick Youssef. Let me get that out right now, just so that I know you already know who it is, but I don't want to load up with all this info and you're like, wait, who the fuck are we talking about? He's got a new album coming out this Friday. You can pre-order it today, guys. I say this to all the naysayers out there that are stuck in a time capsule that don't believe in the power of podcasting, but that is the future. Nick Youssef can text me and say, "Hey man, do you mind if I do your podcast to promote my album on iTunes?" And then you guys can go straight to iTunes and download it and get them at the top of the charts, and there is no traditional media used to promote it. I love that. So please, by all means, go to iTunes, subscribe to his podcast, buy his new album, 1982. He is absolutely hilarious, and we have a fantastic conversation about everything. I won't spoil it for you. I'll let you listen to it. Have a great fucking week, everybody. Be safe this weekend. I will be in St. Louis all weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Today's guest. Ooh, I should also tell you, I have 2 Gangstress podcasts after this. I'm killing it with podcasts. A little teaser. Ron White and Harley Mornstein from Epic Mealtime. Yeah. But right now, and I guarantee you, if you love the Danish and O'Neill one, you're going to love this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Youssef.
This is
Podcast together.
Yeah, no. On All Things Comedy.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
You talking to that mic?
Talking into the mic.
All right. That is perfect. Yeah. So I was looking through your Instagrams today, and I was like, fuck, man, I want to be artistic. So wait, what's the new album about? Is it songs?
No, it's comedy.
It said songs on, and I was like, did he change his fucking entire act?
Yeah, I've abandoned stand-up.
I was like, motherfucker. Man, I want to release an album so bad. I feel like it's. Well, you know what happens though is you go, I'm going to do an album, and you get all excited, and you're like, I'm going to tape it in DC. I'll do 6 shows.
Yeah.
Put the best album, but bananas tracks together.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. And then you tell your agents and managers, and they're like, well, let's wait around to see if anyone wants to do a special.
Right.
And you get sidetracked, and then you lose material because you get bored of it.
Exactly.
But I saw that your album came out, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So where did you film it?
I did it at the Punchline, San Francisco.
Where are you from?
I'm from L.A. I'm one
You
of the
grew up in LA?
11 people that are from here.
You grew up in L.A.?
Yeah.
What's Yousef? Is that
It's Middle Eastern. It's Lebanese.
Lebanese?
Yeah.
Does that mean you and Tripoli fight all the time?
No, he's Armenian, and I just tell him that mine's better than his. Because there's no Lebanese out here. There's a ton of Armenians, and people are always like, "Oh, these Armenian guys in their BMWs."
Dude,
so he gets the brunt of it, and
the Armenian guys hang out at our on our street. You'll see them all the time.
Yeah,
just hanging out having coffee. They just sit, smoke cigarettes, have coffee,
all
and talk
day.
All day.
Yeah,
and I'm always wondering what the fuck they're up to.
No one knows. It's like they just like chill all day, and then they all have the nicest possible cars. So immediately you're like, there's a mafia situation.
What the fuck? How do they all have great cars?
I don't know.
That drives me nuts. Like, I feel like I'm not good with my money.
Yeah.
So I feel like if anyone's going to have an expensive car, it would be me. I'd be like, oh, I'll just buy an expensive car. I can't afford one. And I look at these guys. There's Uber drivers that pick me up in a $120,000 Mercedes.
Yeah, you're like, is this like an AMG?
I got in a car last night and I go, what kind of car is this? And he was like, oh, it's a ... Oh, your back seat reclines.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
And it like heats up, and like and there's a jacuzzi in the trunk, and like all this shit. Yeah.
So did you start? Was a Punchline one of your home clubs?
Was the first club that ever worked me on the road. Like I grew up in LA, started comedy in LA. So this
What's
was like,
that like?
I know people are always like, why would you do that, or what the fuck? I just laid low for a few years and didn't showcase at any of the clubs or anything like that.
Yeah, but that's like, I'm even having a problem with doing stand up in the city now, because you do stand up and everyone at Comedy Central's there.
Yeah.
There's producers there. Even like the store, I feel, is like more of a showcase club these days.
Yeah, it totally is. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
But when I started there, like I did the open mics and all that stuff and just stayed away from the clubs until I had some material and I could, feel confident to showcase for anything. And then I got into the store back when it was practically closed. No one went there for any reason.
What year is this?
That's 03, summer of 03 is when I got hired as an employee.
Really?
And I worked like the door in the lot and answered the phones every morning and all that shit. But it was so dead back then that like the phone shift was 9 to 1. From 9 to 11, I was sleeping. No,
Really?
I mean, it wasn't even disturbed by a phone call. So I would just roll out of bed and be like, it was basically like taking a break to re-sleep again. And I'd get there, I'd get like a newspaper from Starbucks and a coffee that I wouldn't touch until I woke up at 11. And I'd wake up, there was no internet or cable, so I'd watch The View every morning. And like all my children. That was the only thing there was no internet, I had no money for a computer. So I just sat there and watched that. And no one would call till noon. And when they would, they'd be like, are there shows tonight? Like, it wasn't even like, we got to come see Jesselnick and Rogan. Are you guys open, like, ever? And we're like, oh, yeah, shows are at 9. And you'd have to struggle to find a credit to give from anyone on the lineup.
Who's headlining there at the time? Is it?
The only name I remember back then was, like, Rogan. That was the only person you could be
before
like,
the fallout.
Yeah, way before. This was when he was on Fear Factor, and you could be from Fear Factor, Joe Rogan. It was like, fuck yeah. Who else you got? We're like, like you just don't mumble your way through. You'd always be like Brian Holtzman because he's like a legend.
Dude, I heard the other night, someone told me that Brian Holtzman went on stage and like everyone ran in to go watch him.
Oh yeah, he's unpredictable and like angry and crazy and like. He's just the best. He's calmed down a lot over the years, but he used to be, you would just never know what was going to happen, so you'd have to go in there.
Really?
Because it wouldn't be, you wouldn't want to miss the possible set where he like unloads on a crowd and walks the room, because he would just lose his mind over like any issue, any topic.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like, he's just super intense and like wild and angry and funny, but like funny.
Is he like he's a guy that there's legends about him.
Yeah, there's like stories where he would like flip out and walk the room, and like he would just make racial jokes that people would get sensitive about, and then he'd flip out and get angry at you getting angry, kind of thing. Storm off stage screaming in people's faces, and he's like a big menacing.
I heard he's like an airplane mechanic.
Yeah, and he used to be he worked as a parking enforcement officer for a while, where you're like, what? He would be the last person you want to run into getting a ticket. Because normally you'd yell at a parking enforcement, hey, fuck you, pal, and the fucking ticket you gave me. And then he would go, no, fuck you, scream, I'm sorry. And you pay double, like anything you need to get that dude out of your face. But yeah, he was there a lot. I guess like Maz Jobrani was there. Sebastian before he was like Sebastian. He was just like another dude there.
I was telling someone when I met Sebastian was, did you ever go to those softball home run derby games we play?
No.
We do, me, Ernst.
Oh, I used to hear about them. It was before
Yeah.
I was friends with all those guys, so they would mention them, but I
Yeah.
was never invited.
Oh, I was just
kid.
friends with Steve Byrne.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone else.
Yeah.
And Steve's like, you should come, hang out, get to know everyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So
He's always the guy who like brings people. He's very like, come on, let's all be buddies, let's hang out.
you know what's
the
so
best.
funny? Steve is a complex individual.
Yeah.
Because there's another side to Steve where if he
Yeah.
decides he hates you,
You're
there's
like,
no
you don't
turning that
exist.
around.
Right.
I've seen him do that where
Right.
he's just decided I don't like this person,
Yeah.
and it's like a Holocaust, and so we started doing that home run derby, and the first day I got there early. I don't know anyone, and I go over to the thing and I see Sebastian. I don't even know that he's a comic. Like and the way he's acting, I'm like, this guy does not do stand up comedy. Like he's super serious. He's putting on knee high socks. Elbow pads. He's lacing up high top cleats with like
slash loafers at the same time.
yeah, and he had those slides that black dudes wear with his
Right.
socks, and like he had his warm up outfit, getting ready for his game outfit,
That's
matching
hilarious.
gloves and like a visor with his hair done up, putting on sunscreen, and I'm just looking at him like
You're drinking a beer and you're like, what's this guy's problem?
I don't know who I was just telling this to. I think I was wearing. I'm being not even fucking around. I think I might have been wearing flip flops.
Yeah.
And I
No
was just
shirt.
like, yeah. And I'm looking at him, and Steve shows up, and he's like, Bert, this is Sebastian. And I was like, hey, how you doing? I said, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a comedian. And I went, really? And I was like, you're taking this so serious.
Yeah.
Like, and then he got up, and he was just like, him and Brett Ernst would swing and curse. Fuck, man. Like, as they'd swing.
Yeah.
Brett would swing and go, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Booyah. Take that. And I literally was like, these are the most interesting group of guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
Ren Azizi was like a college baseball star.
Right.
And I just literally sat in the outfield, and I was like, and then I got recruited to play college baseball, so I was like, I was actually really good.
Yeah.
So immediately, like the record was like 1 or 2 home runs, and then I get up and hit
12.
I think 15 the first time, and they were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
He's invited every Sunday. Yeah.
but it was he was a really interesting. It's really cool. I mean, I don't know was there any like bitterness at the store? Like, did people hate each other?
No,
It always seems like it got a fraternity vibe.
I was there probably at the tail end of that because they were kind of phasing out all those dinosaur guys that like were holding on to the one place they had left to perform. So anytime a newer, younger person would come in, it would just be like lasers of hate. You know, like, who's this fucking asshole? He's not fucking funny. And you're like, how do you know? He just got passed, you know, give him a chance. But they wouldn't want to because they were holding on to those spots, you know, guys like Barry Diamond and Steve Kravitz and Jeff Altman and,
Don't know any
and
of them.
Charles Fleischer. Yeah, I mean, they're guys that were like pretty big deals in the 80s and early 90s, maybe. They were like the Sebastians and the Caparillas and stuff of that era. But, you know, all things must pass, I suppose. But but they were big deals back then. You know, they were like funny dudes. People came to see them. There were tons of late night appearances. But they just like got older, and then that was the only place they had left. And then dudes like Sebastian and Ernst and Dove and Byrne and all these guys were coming in, and people were like, who are these new guys? But as they phased them out, and it was kind of more of us, then it became more of like this, you know, fraternity, brotherhood, clubhouse type thing where we'd all hang out, chase girls around, have beers, hang out, tell stories.
Yeah.
And then it became kind of fun. It was still dead. Like your average Tuesday or Wednesday the show was supposed to start at 9, wouldn't start till there were 6 people minimum in the showroom. So sometimes I'd work the cover booth too. So I would just call to the manager's office, or Mitzi even. You'd have to call her to get the okay. Like, Mitzi, can we cancel the show because it's 9:45 and there's only 3 people in the audience? That was not uncommon for a Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's so crazy
And she'd be like,
considering what
"Just
that place is doing
wait."
now.
Yeah, now it's like fucking sold out on a Tuesday afternoon for the Tuesday night show.
How the fuck did that happen?
Dude, I mean, it's this weird, perfect storm of like podcasting. There's a comedy boom in general. specials.
The comedy boom
Yeah.
is like overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy.
I was telling someone when I started there, I'm gonna say there was tops 150 comedians working
in LA.
tops. In LA, New York.
Oh, okay.
LA, New York. Like you had road guys that you never really knew their names. Like the guys that did the road, they always existed.
Yeah.
Like in LA and New York, there were tops 150 comics.
What year did you start?
I started in on my 26th birthday, probably like 98, 99, and there were tops fucking 150. I mean, I could name all the New York comics. I could probably go through and name every New York comic right now, only because I mean, there was I think 8 clubs or 6 clubs, but you knew everyone. I mean, you knew everyone that worked that scene. I mean, I worked the door, so I knew everyone would come by. And I'm also not counting like black comics. Probably in New York, you could probably double that number almost because it was a whole black scene.
In the 90s, too, the black comedy scene was the only comedy scene like thriving.
Yeah.
And then all the rest of comedy was just like one foot in the grave.
Yeah.
Like no one gave a shit.
I came out to New York in 99, probably, in 99. And I remember going to the Improv, and going to the store, and going to the Laugh Factory. And I could name all the comics working. I could probably go through and, Zach, Sarah, Harland, Dane. I mean, it was like, now, man, I was watching, I guess the other night I was watching your YouTube thing it's got like 500,000 views on for the Laugh Factory.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know one of those people.
Oh, and that whole
and they've all got 500,000 views. I know. I don't know one of them. I'm like,
me neither.
I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And
I didn't know most of the people I was on the show with that night, probably.
It's insane that you would not know. Like,
there's a lot of comics now.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
went to the store the other night with Stanhope, and like you end up. It just seems like no one quit.
No one quit, and a lot of people are like, well, if I was on Twitter, I could probably be a comedian. And then there's those guys.
Well, that's a whole genre of those people who were just really funny on Twitter and then decided to become comics.
And now they're on stage reading tweets.
Yeah.
And they go, I'm a stand-up now.
And they're selling theaters. And then you got so I'll tell you, this is what I think happened.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I feel like I got, that I think it's not What the Dog Saw. It's a Malcolm Gladwell book.
Oh yeah, I think it is isn't it something in What the Dog Saw?
It's whatever the one is, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe I started comedy at the exact perfect time.
Yeah.
I really believe, because I don't think I'm that talented, and I don't think I'm that good looking, and I've been working my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
And so I literally, sometimes I say, there was a small selection. Me, Ian Bagg, Tom Segura. These are people that I go, look, they're funny. I'm not going to include them in me. Steve Byrne. Right. We all got into this business at a time when there wasn't that many comics working, and then the headliners, so they opened up a bunch of improvs. Right. The headliners were like David Spade, Jay Moore, the fucking
Jim Brewer.
It was all this SNL. It was like one genre. Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Probably Patton in some clubs. I don't think he was headlining a lot, but like, and then they had so much.
The 9-city tour would be like Portland, Austin, San Francisco, like the cities where like he just likes to go.
Yeah.
If you can, why not?
Yeah. And so I remember going to these clubs and then being like, and like Brian Regan was still headlining these clubs.
Yeah.
Dave Attell.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg, Lewis Black. They were the headliners. These are all the fucking biggest names in comedy.
Oh yeah.
Probably right now. And then what happened is they opened up all these Funny Bones too. And a lot of these guys were just like, I don't want to do the road, and there was availability. And so, guys, I'll just say my name definitely, but like I got gifted 15 cities a year, just no money, very low money, but I got an opportunity to headline where a lot of guys never got the opportunity to do hours and just stretch their wings. Dane started doing theaters. I mean, everyone wanted to do theaters. That was the other thing, is that everyone wanted to get into theaters. And so I look at that now and I go, the only reason I'm in at these clubs is because 10 years ago, they needed people. I was cool. Number one. That's it. Like, I liked hanging out with the staff. I didn't mind. I was broke, so I didn't mind if the manager or assistant manager picked me up at the airport.
Yeah.
I didn't need a car service. If condo's all you had, I'd stay in the condo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so I feel like now I go, I don't know how someone would get on the road and headline. It is almost
hard.
Impenetrable.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many guys that go out, do one Netflix special, and then they're in, and you're like, what? And then they go away, and a brand new guy comes in, and you're like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, everyone's so disposable.
It really is.
And it's like now there's so many specials that come out even that it's like a big deal for the 6 days it's being promoted, and then 2 weeks later you forget it ever happened.
Isn't that
and then
crazy?
Another that's part of being in
Tom
a boom.
Segura is the luckiest man in the world.
Yeah, well, he's also he's funny as well.
He's mediocre at best.
Yeah,
if you like
shit.
If you like a watered down David Tell with a Harry Louis Anderson body, then yes.
Yeah.
No, but
the name of his next special is that.
But he got to do the road. He got to do his hours.
Yeah.
He got into podcasting at the right time. Like, podcasting, he's also insightful. I'm obviously, everyone knows he's my best friend, so I fuck with him a lot. But he's right now. Tom's going, you're not my best friend. And so, but he got into podcasting at the right time. He stuck with his podcast.
Yeah.
And he got on Netflix before anyone knew what it was, and there were only a handful of specials.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, there was the fucking great ones, and Segura's just got so much play. And I think now everyone's like, well, Segura got on Netflix, and you're like, well, the other thing is they were funny as shit.
Right.
Like, it's like half hours with Dane's half hour. Do you remember when Dane did?
Is that the one where he was wearing a tank top?
And then he tore it off at the end?
Yeah, that one.
That was just right time, right place. That half hour aired at a time when they didn't have a lot of content, and they were fucking airing it nonstop.
Yeah, and who's this new, young, energetic guy
Comedy Central was blowing up.
Right.
Really, so much of it is right time, right place.
Yeah, if you started like when comedy was at its like lowest point, and then by the time you get to where it starts to boom, and you have years under your belt and experience, when they're like, we got to fill the club, so like, this guy's a monster. Where's he been? And you're like, I've been in the fucking trenches.
Yeah.
Well, no one gave a shit about comedy.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling when you go to do like Montreal, and they put you on like a young people's showcase or something.
Yeah.
And you've been doing it for 15 years.
Right.
And you see these kids that have been doing it for 3.
Yeah.
And they're like,
And they're shivering.
and they're looking at their set list. And you're like,
Right.
You're looking at your set list? Like, I haven't looked at a set list in 10 years.
Right.
I'll tell you what jokes I'm gonna, like last night we did Ari's thing, and someone comes up to me like, have you worked this story out on stage? And I was like, no, but I'm a comedian. I can figure this out. Like, I mean, this is what, they're like in my head. I'm like, this is what we do for a living. Like, I've bounced it around, but part of the fun of that room is fucking not knowing what you're saying.
Yeah.
And letting it feel genuine. If you go up and look like you're doing material, you bomb.
Yeah, if you're like reciting it, there's like no fun to the story or whatever.
I got lucky too, I think, in the podcasting thing, because I've had a bunch of really good stories right when people needed content.
Yeah.
And I got plugged in, and I got met up with Rogan, told the machine story, and then that, like, that I find all parts of this business interesting. Who do you consider in your class when you started?
Ari's in there. He started maybe a year or two before me. Who else was around when I started? Aaron Cater was around. You remember Brian Keith Etheridge?
Who just brought him up last night?
I don't know, but he's like a writer producer now. He works on like Mike and Molly and like all these shows.
Someone just brought him up last night.
Yeah, he comes because he's still kind of around. I mean, he's a great guy.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Lee told a story about him.
Oh, probably. Yeah, yeah. I could see that. They were like really good friends back in the day. Before
Bobby Lee told a great story about him.
Bobby wasn't in my class. He was like ahead of me, but we became friends like very early on when I was doing the open mic at the store.
Yeah,
because he used to host it, and he just saw me one day, and he was like, I was just 18-year-old fucking
how old are you now?
Kid. I just turned 34 like a week or two ago.
God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. You're in a
scary place.
In a sweet spot right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I believe it, man. I say to everyone, if I was 10 years younger, I'd be a billionaire.
Wait, how old are you?
43.
Get the fuck out. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm 43, but I started stand-up really old. I started at 26.
Oh, yeah, that is probably a few years older than the average. They say the average like 22, 23, 24, something like
I
that.
started 26, and I feel like it behooved me because I definitely lived a life.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go up like I remember, and this is no knock on Dane whatsoever, but I remember watching Dane's material and being like, God, I wish I could write like that. All my stuff was real shit I'd done.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dane's like talking about fantasy stuff, like,
right.
You know, like it was like his brain just worked differently than mine. Same with Louis C.K. I remember watching Louis C.K. early, and I was like, not to draw obviously a correlation between their acts as if the internet hasn't done that a million times.
Yeah.
But Louis would do like talk about fantasy stuff.
Yeah, it was an absurdist.
Yeah, and I wished I could have been like that, but I don't have that brain. I was like, I can tell you about the time I took acid and went to Disneyland, and then and I was like, but no one's doing that. And in my head, I was like, I wish. It was so simple now. Now I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I wasn't doing shit other people were doing.
Right.
But at the time, I was like, I wish I had no litmus to find out if what I was doing was good.
Yeah.
Because does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a grass is always greener outlook too. You know, people are like the guys that are really good at writing wish they could be physical performers and vice versa.
Yeah.
But then you just realize that's like a confidence thing too that comes after you've been doing it for a few years. You're like, oh, I'm really good at these 2 or 3 or 4 things that I do, and I'm gonna fucking do the shit out of them and be undeniable. And then all the younger people will look at me and be like, I wish I could tell stories like Bert. I wish I could be an absurdist and think like a...
Oh, there was no room for storytelling in New York.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember DC Benny and I started a storytelling room on Houston, and I did it one night, the first night we did it, and I was like, oh, this is what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Like, me, I can't do short-form comedy, but you had to write like that. You had to, like, I mean, it's just like... And the way I wrote, I think I often would borrow themes or energy or from other comics.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, oh, this is like, I did it with Attell all the time. I've copped to this a million times, but like I would watch the way he did stand up, and I would just be like, so that's after set up punch, set up big punch.
Yeah.
Dot 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 dot.
Yeah.
And
that cadence, like people do it with Brody all the time.
Oh,
where he's so addictive that you know,
yes.
And there's the hand thing that he does when he says it. You got it.
No one's
like that.
doing what he does.
Oh, no one can.
No one can.
Every once in a while, you catch yourself like doing a Brodyism or something like that, just because he's so fun to watch.
He hasn't changed at all. You know that? Like, I mean, when I first started, he was in New York doing like, we used to this place called Collective Unconscious and Surf Reality, and he hasn't changed one bit. I mean, his voice, his writing's getting better.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes when he performs and he goes off, Ari and I watched him destroy at UCB one night.
Yeah.
Destroy. But his cadence, his personality, his voice, he stayed authentic to it his entire...
Yeah, it's crystal
I've
clear.
got a new movie, 10 Things You Like About Me. Yeah. I got 10 Things I Hate About Me. I've got hair on my cock.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking the greatest. Who did you like when you first started? Who were like the guys you'd love to watch write or love to watch work?
I like to I didn't get to see him a lot, but when I first was starting, Stanhope would come to LA a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I loved watching that dude because he's just, I mean, he's so interesting and like on edge all the time, you know, like the topics that he tackled in like long form, they weren't one-liners about politics or drinking or sex, and you know, there were these long detailed bits, and when you're first starting, you just can't even understand how a comedian can do that. You're just like, that's so complicated, and it's like a 5-minute bit. Like, how the fuck do you make that funny, you know?
Do you remember when you started and you'd watch people do a bit about like Radio Shack? You're like, fuck, I've been to Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I'm going to Radio Shack tomorrow. I'm going to look extra hard at shit.
Yeah, how did he see Radio Shack different than I saw Radio Shack?
Exactly, yeah. Guys like that were fun to watch. I got to see Mitch Hedberg once before he died.
Really?
At the Improv. I just randomly because I would make it a point to go every Saturday night because there weren't a lot of open mics on Saturdays. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to the Improv and watch the guys. You would be there a handful of times. I saw you. Yeah. Ben Glebe, when he was first starting, would host. It was like back there and that. And then one night, it was Mitch Hedberg's night. He was closing. He was doing an hour. And I didn't even know. And I just walked in. I was like, oh, Mitch Hedberg, cool. And that was before he was the legend. And I went in there and I was just like, how I remember the takeaway was like the joke writing's amazing, and how the fuck does he remember that many jokes in an hour? Because I don't do that style of comedy. So in my head, I'm like, remember 80 one-liners or probably more?
You know, it's so funny.
I couldn't even fathom it.
I used to look at that and go, I would definitely get lost. If I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, I forget to tell jokes all the time, but like, I'm so stream of consciousness now that I can't imagine having like Dimitri Martin was the same way. I'd be like, how does he remember that long lineup?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd be telling jokes twice.
Oh yeah.
All
Forgetting
the time.
a whole section.
Now, is this the time when like Mitch had like painted nails and the glasses on?
Definitely the glasses. I don't know about the nails, but he was. The guy didn't look up once.
One time.
Yeah. But he was like, it was cool to see that. Rogan, I'd always like to watch, just because his style was so conversational, but like he was so conceptual about the material. You know, back when he was talking a lot about aliens and pyramids and how dumb humans are, and what if like all the power went out, and like he did a really good job at painting a picture and just guiding you through. And a lot of it were premises that weren't really based in reality. You know, it was just like, what about this possible future? Or what about this possible past? Like, what if aliens did build the pyramids? Or what if all the power went out? I don't know how to build a battery or do all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, that's an interesting outlook. And the way he would guide you through and be funny the entire way, I was like, that's how I want to do comedy. That Bill Hicks approach was similar. Kinnison, you know, where you were just, and not necessarily like angry and railing against the system, which Joe didn't do a lot of, but just being conceptual and like presenting ideas and making those funny, as opposed to just like a series of one-liners, which were really popular back in like the mid 2000s.
Really popular.
You know, when like the guys like Zach and all those guys, and they did it extremely well. But it just wasn't my thing. I loved watching it, but
I loved watching it too. I just couldn't. I was never good at it either.
Yeah,
like I wanted to be that way, but I think it's a lot of it is the way people see you.
Yeah,
and you know who used to do a lot of one. I don't know if he still does, but he did a story last night that destroyed. Was Nick Thune?
Yeah, he transitioned from one-liners to stories, and he's fucking so. We did a UCB show together like a year or so ago. And he went up, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see all his new jokes. And it was just 2 stories, and they were so fucking great. Because he's a charming, charismatic dude.
And his pacing is really great.
Yeah.
Like, he really, like, I said to him, I don't know if I said it enough last night, but I was like, dude, you did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
His story was so, like, I was really... Everyone that was on that show that was just fucking murderous tonight. Fucking, they have what's his name? Brian, the biggest comic in the world. Brian
something.
Brian Regan.
Oh, Regan! No way.
Yeah, he's doing a story.
Cool. Dude, I met him in Denver. The nicest human in the world.
Right.
I was opening for Bobby Lee, and we were at Comedy Works, and show finishes. We're upstairs just talking to the crowd and whatever. And then some employee comes up and he goes, because we knew he was back there. He was in town playing Red Rocks the next night. And then he just wanted to come watch comedy. We're like, who does that? You know? So he's hanging out. And then an employee comes up and goes, hey, if you're not busy, Brian Regan wants to meet you. I'm like, I'm no longer busy. Like, I was talking to 6 people. I'm like, these people are no longer here. Like, what do you need? And then he brings me down, and he's just like hanging out with like his road manager and some other dude. And he goes, hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. You were very funny tonight. My name is Brian. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I felt like an open micer again. Like, he was just like, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're really good. He was asking me about the material I was doing. And I'm like, is this really happening right now with this guy?
Oh, thank you, babe.
It was so cool. It couldn't have been. We saw him in the airport the next morning, and he's waving. Where are you guys headed? We're like, home. Can you be my father? You're the coolest.
It
was the best.
Him and I was in Des Moines, and I get a text from Pete Corielli, and he's like, are you partying tonight? And I was like, I wrote back, I go, are you in Des Moines?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
I'm partying now.
And I was like, I am now. And he was like, cool. Is it okay if I bring Brian Regan? And I went, are you fucking kidding me? And so they came by the Des Moines Funny Bone. I just got done doing the show. They roll up in Brian's tour bus and fucking just start shooting tequila, drinking beer. And I was like, hey man, Gotta Give Me 2 Seconds to Geek Out on You.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fucking, one of my favorite moments ever was me and my dad were listening to XM Comedy. Your album came on, and I just was laughing top to bottom with my dad, and it's really cool that I got to share that with my dad, because we couldn't listen to Attell or anything.
Right.
But, like, to be able to laugh with my dad, it was really great. And he was like real heartfelt, thank you, man. Like, normally I go, oh, that's great to hear. Like, that's what like, if someone said that, I go, oh, that's really cool, thanks. I'd brush it off. And then we hung out all night, and he was like,
That's so cool.
oh, he's the best, man. He's the fucking best. I listened to him the other day with my kids.
Yeah.
I put him on with my kids. My kids are laughing their tits off.
That's great.
And I'm like, this is fucking great.
It's great. He's a rare case, man, where he's just like been touring relentlessly for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And he's squeaky clean. Everyone loves him.
I've never heard one bad thing about him ever.
I know.
Ever. He did, by the way, a little footnote. That 30-minute live, 30-minute Comedy Central Presents that Dane did,
Yeah.
he did the same night.
Really?
Yeah, I watched him and Dane both do theirs.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, it's so crazy. Like, I mean, I wonder if there's anyone that did one. You always look at that, like those young comedian specials.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Dice, Sam Kinison, Roseanne.
Yeah.
And then
Bill
who's-
Johnson.
Yeah, who's this
Some
guy?
random dude.
Guy smokes cigars. It's
Yeah,
like that
and he was
it.
never heard from again.
Yeah,
it's like in WWE where like there'll be like the heavyweight like contenders, you know, that have like cool names and awesome outfits, and then they're fighting like Bill Bradley, and he's
Yeah.
just some guy with black shorts.
What
and
is,
like,
do you follow wrestling?
no, I used to when I was younger,
Oh,
but
what
I'm
if-
like sort of getting back into it because it's so popular now.
It's right.
It's weird how it's got to be a
stinks that-
nostalgia thing.
It stinks that CM Punk is out of it right when I start watching it.
Right, yeah.
Because like apparently he was just the most enigmatic. Is that the right word? Enigmatic.
I don't know because I don't know too much about him, but it could be a word to
Like it's
describe.
yeah. He's just the most fascinating guy.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah,
And now he's just retired from wrestling.
yeah, and with no, and then they were like, he's going to join the UFC. Was a rumor.
It's gonna
I'm
be
like,
tough.
why? Yeah, it would be.
Maybe let me tell you something. If he wins, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
If he could get to the place where he could win, oh, that would be fun to watch. Because I mean, like, do you think Conor McGregor's fun, dude?
Yeah.
CM Punk has only been focusing on the showmanship.
yeah. the whole
His whole career has
yeah.
just been on the thing we like Conor McGregor for.
Right,
Like he would make Conor McGregor look like fucking
Yeah.
like a sausage salesman. I don't know,
like
I'm
a
trying to
dude in a
think of-
coma. Yeah, you know? Yeah, it's all showmanship and character and stuff. And it's, I mean, I grew up watching a lot of wrestling, so like it's more fun than the UFC to me because a lot of UFC fight. If you don't like. People that know the moves are like, oh, he's got him in a arm bar, rear naked, reverse, whatever. I'm like, dude, I don't even see that right now.
Yeah.
But to them, it's the most exciting thing. And that's like a minute of the whole fight. But wrestling is over the top. They're lowering a cage that you can't escape from. There's like a straitjacket.
They're doing moves that like
Yeah.
Like if you said
There's
to
folding
UFC,
chairs everywhere.
you can throw a guy 40 feet off the top of a fucking ring onto a table.
Oh, yeah.
Like if
I'd be like, what's the monthly package I have to order? Because I'm watching it every day.
if they did UFC in a steel cage.
Yeah.
And like you could scrape the person's face. That was what it started off as.
Yeah.
Like
It was crazy, no rules.
You're
Yeah.
probably too young because when I was 22, 23,
Uh-huh.
24, UFC was Tank Abbott.
It was
and
illegal.
It was illegal.
Watch it anywhere.
And we had stolen cable, so we got every UFC match ever.
Oh, cool.
And we just every Saturday, Friday night we'd watch them, and you just knew nothing. There was no internet. Like there was no internet.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, oh, this guy's good. He's jujitsu. His dad created jujitsu, and you're like, what? I mean, it was really fascinating. I say this so much lately. I don't know why, but like, I feel like life experiences have changed so drastically in just a 10-year gap of living a life.
Yeah.
Like,
As in people aren't having life experiences.
No. Maybe that. Not really. That's not what I was thinking. But like, so like you're 34, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember going to school without the internet?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
My generation, because I was born in 82, so I'm like the earliest end of millennials. So I had.
So you're my sister's age. Okay. So yeah. So you definitely went to college, and email was showing up when you got to college.
Yeah, like some people had internet, but it was like the slow dial-up stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like universal because it was computers were expensive and internet was. So it's like the families with money, and then you went to their house, and then they had check out this fucking porn video. It would take like 4 minutes to download like a picture.
Yeah.
It was that was a real normal thing back
So,
then.
and you must have been.
I was
How
like
old were you when you got your first cell phone?
18. So the year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine probably in 98, 99.
Yeah, because it was like it was considered a luxury.
Yeah.
And it was like my parents were like, "We're not fucking getting you. What do you need a phone for?"
What do your parents do?
My dad owns like a marble granite like business.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you ever think about doing that?
I did when he told me I had to repeatedly my whole life until I was going to do comedy. You're getting into the family business. You're doing every summer we had to fucking do that shit. We're carrying sacks of fucking cement and pallets of shit of like marble and granite and learning how to like lay tile. Like we're a blue collar family. Like he made us learn how to work, and this is what money means, and this is how you earn it.
Do you have brothers?
My brother's in the family business. He had one younger brother.
Really?
So yeah, he does that, and then I went into the arts, where they're like, "What, you pussy?"
What was it like? How did you get immediately into comedy, or did you go to like art school, or?
No, I went right in. Like I knew I wanted to do it from age like 14.
Really?
Like that. Yeah, I saw it on TV at my friend's house. I didn't have cable; he did, and he's like, "Dude, come over. I have all these channels now," and it was like this new awesome thing for us. And we're flipping through, and he's like, I found this show where there's all these comedians. Like, these guys just, like, stand on stage and are hilarious. I'm like, oh, okay. And he flips to it, and it was like a rerun of Evening at the Improv. And I'd never heard of the Improv. I never knew you could, like, stand on stage and do comedy. Like, my parents didn't have comedy records. They didn't know who George Carlin was.
Were your parents first generation?
Yeah. They moved here from Lebanon.
Really?
Yeah, in 81 or 2 or no, 84.
So this is going to sound silly, but like, does that mean that you always had Lebanese food?
Oh yeah, dude, I had it 2 days ago. Like they live in L.A. I go to their house once a week.
Like they don't like they never made like French fries and burgers.
No, they do that like sometimes. Like they'll mix American food with it. You know?
Really?
So like my uncle married a woman. This is like many years ago. So she's Mexican. And then they started incorporating like some of their food with Lebanese food. So like there's a meat patty called kefta in Lebanese food, and you could put it on kebabs. It's like that meat that you use on kebabs. You could shape it into a patty. So they combine that it's served with rice usually. So they combine that with fajitas and made like this hybrid dish. So it's like those meat patties with rice and then bell peppers and like spicy sauce.
Fuck,
it's
yes.
fucking one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. And it was like this hybrid dish created. So now there's always that, and then there's guacamole next to hummus and all these other.
Guacamole belongs right next to hummus.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now that I think about it, yeah.
They're two awesome dipping
Someone,
things.
do you know what I had the other day? I had chickpea guacamole.
Whoa.
Yeah, is that it? Yeah, chickpea guacamole.
So it's just like a hybrid of the two.
It was so fucking good. I was in Orlando, of all places.
Well, it's weird that they would have it there.
I know. It was it's even weirder. It was at Universal Studios.
That is even weirder.
Yeah. You don't expect them to take big swings.
Bizarre. Yeah. And it's like Florida never does anything right, and that's like a really right thing to do.
Do you know what they had? Do you know what they had when I was in high school, when I was 18? I remember this so vividly.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw stand-up, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd listened to Sam Kinison with Brian Callahan in the back of a bus trip going to ice skating.
Yeah.
I had heard Dice, when I was in high school. But senior year, my junior year, for New Year's Eve, Chris Roberts, Bill Sansoni, me, and maybe like Cayman and Alan Rieger, we all and a bunch of girls went to a hotel out by Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
Like fucking just in the middle of nowhere, Tampa, for us, and got a hotel room. And Chris Roberts played Comedy Central all night long, and they had comic after comic after comic after comic. And I remember thinking, the reboot, the idea that if you didn't like that, there's a new joke coming, there's a new comic coming, the reboot of it constantly was so great. I think we saw Bill Hicks on that, and my buddies they were like quoting these guys to me, and I just was like fucking blown away. And I was like, that's badass.
It was a new, I didn't know you could do that. And so we watched the show, and it's just like that the image of a guy on stage being funny just was like burned into my cornea. I just like couldn't get it out. And I was just like, that's such a fascinating thing. And then like a year later, maybe, it was in teenage time, so it could have been like 4 weeks, but like it was like a while later, I'm watching MTV, and they were doing comedy. It was like MTV Summer Series when they had all this crazy summer shit on the beach. And then there was stand-up on that show, and it was Jeff Ross. Before I even, it was just my first time seeing Jeff Ross, and I was like, you can do this at the beach? I'm like, I'm in. Like, I got to do, this is what I got to do with my life.
Dude, there was a period where I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to be a stand-up or I just wanted to be an MTV VJ.
Yeah.
Like, because that life looked so good.
For sure, right?
Oh, God.
Until Jesse Camp came in, and you're like, what's this fucking asshole?
I went in and auditioned for that season of
He
Want to
took
Be
it
a
from
VJ.
you?
My dad called me up, and he goes, they're doing this casting call for Want to Be a VJ down in
you would have killed it so fucking hard, and they gave it to him.
and I said, Dad, that's not how the business works. He goes, buddy, you don't know how the business fucking works. He goes, you go down and you wait in line. He's like, you wait in line and you audition.
Yeah.
And he goes, you'll learn something. It'll be a good life experience. Yeah. And I went down, I waited in line, I did my audition, and I did my audition really well, but they didn't pick me. And I, you know what's so funny is I didn't tell them that I had been written up in Rolling Stone magazine. So I was like, I want to earn this on my own.
Yeah.
And I should have. I really should have.
That's the thing you learned.
Dave Holmes is still working to this day.
Yeah, he is.
I remember Dave Holmes got it, and they were like, this kid Jesse's so good. I just saw a video of Jesse partying with someone the other day.
Yeah, he's making this weird comeback, or trying to. Like, he's been popping up in things.
Yeah,
I saw him at the Laugh Factory last year.
Really?
Like, hanging out with a couple rock star guys that were like there for the show, and he was like around, and people were taking pictures with him and shit. I was like, that guy's still, because you haven't heard anything for 15 years, and then now he's like, hey, you wonder what the fuck happened.
God, whatever. He'd be an interesting podcast if you could get him to be not on.
Yeah, to talk about like his actual.
It's the hard thing with some people. It's like you don't want them to, like, the character. I did a podcast with someone the other day. I can't remember who it was, and I was like, oh, I hope I can get this person to just be themselves.
Yeah.
Like Riff Raff.
Yeah.
I don't like, one of the things, I love this show called Hot Ones. Have you seen it?
No.
It's on First We Feast YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's just them eating hot wings. You eat 10 hot wings,
Yeah.
and they get progressively hotter, and they
that's
ask you
great.
questions. But the great thing is, the wings are so hot that whatever persona you carry with you disappears because you're going, like, you're just human.
shit.
Look, you're just human. You can't help it.
Yeah.
And
It's a great idea.
Riff Raff was like, hey man, I might have to take my jacket off. He lost all of it. Like, he
Yeah,
was
he's like, hey man, my identity's a lie. This is not who I am.
well, no, what's funny is that you saw how much of his identity was true. You were
Oh,
like,
really?
oh yeah, because that's really his accent. Like, that's really his
Wow.
accent. And but like, he stopped rhyming things. Like, and it was so good.
Yeah.
And he was like,
That's
It was-
great. You should get guys like Marilyn Manson in there, like all these
Dude,
people, Eminem. You know?
I reached out to them and was like, hey, just giving you a heads up, I would love to do your show.
Yeah.
And they reached back and they're like, I was supposed to do it tomorrow. And then I was like, and then I can't, because I'm going to do St. Louis this weekend, and then Doug Love's. I'm doing. Oh, I shouldn't say it. Oh, I can say it. I'm doing Doug Love's movies tomorrow night. And
Oh, nice.
And I've bailed on Doug a lot.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and I feel like it's not cool because it's St. Louis,
Right.
And he had kind of booked it around me being there, and that if I just don't show up, I feel like it's a dick move. But I told them, I said to the First We Feast guys, I go, I will fly myself to New York to do it. So they
Yeah.
film in New York, and they're like, thank you.
Wow. that's
Because
cool.
they don't pay anything, but it's so good. TJ Miller does it and has a spiritual effect on him. Like, you see him go like into a fucking place.
Yeah.
It's so good.
He's a perfect guy to do that show.
I told Key and Peele do it, and I said I was talking to Eric Abrams last night, and I go the best is, I go the lighter one but the heavier one, and Eric goes, the heavier one's the darker one. And I go, oh, well, that one.
You're like, don't tell anyone I said that.
I don't know which one's which, but that one is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just, fuck, he goes into a place where he's going like this.
That's great.
Oh, it's such a good show.
I gotta watch these.
That's why I say, like, I don't know, like, do you do much with the YouTube channel?
I never did. No, I never did any.
Man. You got to.
I know.
You really have to. I really believe that I believe it's so easy to make your own sizzle reels these days.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like this is a generational podcast. But like when I started it, one of the lucky things about me is that technology arrived just at the time I got into the business. Canon came out with this camera called the GL2 and the XL1.
Yeah. And
those cameras made shooting television immediately cheaper. Yeah. Like $100,000 cheaper.
Wow.
So you could shoot pilots for nothing. So like I got like I remember someone going, like I was telling someone, yeah, I'm shooting a pilot. And they go, how did you get a pilot? And I was like, I don't know. They needed someone.
Yeah, they called me and can you do it?
And I was like, yeah. And so I ended up shooting probably 40 pilots in my life. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just because of this camera, and then Sony came out with like an equivalent, and it just was, I was in a group of people that could make their own content.
Yeah.
And I'd done some stuff where it was like anything man on the street. They're like, why not just buy a fucking GL2? I bought my own GL2 to make my own pilots.
Yeah.
Buy a GL2 and a fucking boom mic and shoot Bert.
And call a friend and be like, hold this mic. Yeah.
And technology now is at a place where, like, I've said this to everyone. Bert Inc., my production company, this is all my fucking gear in this.
Really?
I do a podcast.
Yeah.
I do a vlog. I bought another camera. It's inside right now.
What's the camera for the vlog?
It's this. It's a Canon G7X. It's fucking fantastic.
Really?
This camera
shoots like HD video?
Fantastic. Wow. I just bought a camera the other day. I wish I had it in here.
Wow.
I bought a Canon, or I think it was a Sony, rather. I bought a Sony camcorder because I want the problem with this camera is the battery doesn't last very long. It lasts like an hour, if that. But I want to film my live shows. I want to film every one of my live shows. I want to document all my live shows,
catalog all that stuff.
Because I realized in doing this last hour that is so fucking handy to go back and look exactly how a joke works, and then present it that way again.
Yeah. Especially visually, because sometimes you're like, where was I? I'll watch videos sometimes and I go, I was looking down at the front row when I was saying this, and it makes you look like your eyes are closed, or like, how was I, like, what were my hand movements or something?
Yeah.
Like, and it is, I mean, it's cheaper than ever to do that shit.
And I get, the only thing that's expensive is storing data, storing like footage
huge files.
Yeah, because I end up buying these Lacy is the brand name, these Lacy
external hard drives.
Yeah, external hard drives. And I just put all my shows on one. But I mean, like, I would be doing, if I were you, I should be doing it too. Yeah. Sometimes I feel nerdy because I'm like 43 and I'm doing a vlog.
But that's the nature of the business now, and I hate using that phrase, but that's the nature of the business. It's like, it's way more do it yourself than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And like now, if you go in to meet with anyone for anything, they want to know, they're like, what have you created, and what are a bunch of finished products you already have?
You need to have a body of work. You need to have like a list of things you want to do, and then like I'm watching Kimberly Congdon.
Yeah,
Kimberly Congdon. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah,
and a girl named Sarah, I think as well. They have this little web series they're doing where they play two sisters.
Yeah.
I think I just watched like 4 of them. I'm not saying it's the greatest content in the world.
Yeah.
It's great. Out of the 4, I laughed a handful of times.
Yeah, but it's content.
In my head, I'm going, that could be a show.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're learning how to make something funny. I hope I'm not sounding like I'm shitting on it, but it was like they're short. They're like 1:30, and you get a couple laughs out of it.
Yeah.
And I go in there learning how to make content. The hardest thing in the world to do in this business is write something on paper, have them film it, and have it actually be funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There's
man,
a huge gap between.
There is such a big gap.
Idea and execution, for sure.
And that's why I feel like I've landed in this hosted reality space, because I can be funny I can make the people holding the cameras laugh.
Yeah.
And if you can make those people laugh, then the people watching are laughing. But yeah, you should be doing, it's like so much shit. I wish All Things Comedy. Maybe I'll talk to Bill and Al about this, but I feel like All Things Comedy should have a production side where it's almost like sign up and then you can shoot some stuff.
Yeah,
like
here's some
green
cameras.
screen.
Yeah, exactly.
And in our offices, put a green screen in there so that we can do
That's
our
usually
own.
the hardest part is having the access to that equipment to shoot something
I'm doing it. I'm going to call Al right now.
on the air.
Yeah. Fucking.
Yeah.
The last time I saw Al, I was fucking hammered, which, by the way, is starting to happen to be my log line for everyone I'm seeing these days.
Yeah, last time I saw you, I was wasted.
Oh, fucking.
What a great excuse, though, if you ever do anything, like, ridiculous or dumb.
You know what I'll do? I'm gonna buy the green screen stuff, and I'll just put it in there.
Yeah.
And then bring my camera, and I'm gonna shoot a project for All Things Comedy with all our talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, buddy? Are you busy?
I'm in a meet and greet at a digital summit in Atlanta.
Jesus Christ.
What?
I'm doing a podcast with Nick Youssef, and we were talking about All Things Comedy. I'll call you later. I'll call you later, okay?
Yeah, but exciting shit happened with that. That's actually what I was just talking about right now.
Hold on. You're on the podcast. You're on the podcast.
Wait till I tell you. You're going to go nuts. And I want you to help me. We're going to start a separate company.
Okay.
He's just rolling.
That's fantastic. All right, let's talk. All right, I'll talk to you later, man. Well, that almost became a very litigious call.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And
Okay,
here's
well,
the biggest secret of all.
That was the
You're like,
Al Madrigal's the best.
Yeah.
Al's fucking. He's a burner.
He's the
man.
hardest work. It's like that guy sleeps 40 minutes a night.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he's got like a family and like multiple career arcs going at the same time. It's like, when does that dude sleep?
He just is a bit. Man, I've seen him. And I hope this sounds like a compliment, but like I've seen him go out, party, get fucked up, be up at 6 a.m., fucking emails out, fucking.
Oh yeah,
I got a meeting
Driving
at 8.
kids to
I'm gonna
school,
go buy Natasha Leggero a car, like like I think that, or Chelsea Peretti. I'm gonna go buy Chelsea Peretti a car.
Yeah,
like just the fucking craziest. Then takes his great dad.
Yeah,
his wife is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I look at my shitty life and I'm like, fuck it.
Dude, you got you got a good life, man. When I was like,
man cave is pretty fucking
I was
great.
waiting to come in. I was like, this is a house. This is a real. You live in a home.
Someone said that to me the other day, and I was like,
it's just such a most of my friends, we all live in fucking apartments.
yeah.
Like I went to the Sport Chalet is closing, and they have having these crazy sales.
Which sports chalet?
They're the original one in La Cañada.
Seriously?
It's massive location, and they're just getting rid of everything. Everything's like 60% off. So anything outdoor sports related is like dirt cheap. Fucking, I'm running over there, and I see a giant basketball hoop. Those ones that you fill with water, and and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I want that, right? It was like 70% off, and I was like, I want that. And then I'm like, where am I gonna fucking put it? In the driveway to my apartment building? Cars are hung. Get the fuck out of the way. In my apartment, it's not gonna happen. On the street. So then I come here. I'm like, this is a home. Like, this is where you put a fucking basketball hoop. You could park a car in a driveway. You could throw a football around. You could have a fucking man cave and all this shit.
But then it's interesting. I liked living in an apartment.
Yeah.
Almost more because
really?
My fear is my fear has always been like, I don't know, especially when you get older. And I keep saying I'm older. I'm not old, but like you look at like so many guys that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Or like so many guys that had a good year and then or had a show and then it went away and they went out and spent the money and then lost it. And I've always been like, keep it as low as your overhead super fucking low.
Right.
Like I remember I'd look at guys like I saw Seth Green one time was driving a fucking Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it, that guy's doing it right.
Yeah.
Like Elliot Gould and I went to dinner one night and he drove like the cheapest,
like a bicycle,
the cheapest Cherokee you could buy,
right?
Like the Sport, Cherokee Sport with no rims.
Wow!
And I just was like, and I think I've always had that mentality a little bit, and I was terrified to get into this house. I was like, Like we had a great apartment. I just talked to Danish and O'Neill about this.
Yeah.
We used to have an amazing fucking apartment. It was a loft with 40-foot stories.
Oh, cool.
In Hollywood, overlooking the Hollywood Hills.
Nice.
And it was just gorgeous. 2-bedroom, open air plan, like deck.
Yeah.
So great. And it was free. It was totally free.
Free?
Yeah, my wife worked for the building, so we got it for free.
Fuck yeah.
And I was making $1,200 a week on the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the deal. I can always make $1,200.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can get by. We don't have like great stuff, but we can have one nice car.
Yeah.
And then I started working for Travel Channel. My wife's like, we need to buy a house and this is one of those things, right place, right time.
Right.
2008, and my wife's like, we need to buy a house right fucking now.
Oh yeah, when houses are practically free.
And we got this house for nothing. But adversely, you walked through it. It's like we've been really slow to add on or to upgrade it because in my head, it's like I don't want to get caught with my hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
But we're renovating.
What's great is you have all the time in the world. It's your house.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do it all in a year. You could do over a decade. You could be like, we're going to add this and that, a second story, another man cave on top of the man cave.
They talked about that. They were like, would you do a second story on this? So when we're renovating
like a spiral staircase that leads.
I was like, oh, that would be so fucking
it feels
badass.
like a log cabin, dude. It's fucking awesome in here.
This is the greatest thing. This is the reason that we won't leave this house.
Oh yeah.
Because the other thing is I don't understand. Like there's certain things I don't understand of business. So I'm like, okay, so we bought this house for X amount of dollars. Oh, actually, you can find it online, but like, we've bought it for X amount of dollars. It's increased by probably double in price.
Yeah,
but
that's great.
If we sold this for that price, then we could only buy this exact kind of house again.
Oh, right.
Like that's what sucks is you're
that's
like,
hilarious.
yeah, we got a lot of money in this, but what good is that to us?
Yeah, you end up getting a house that's not as cool as this.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm
so
like, fuck that. And so we're like, we'll just add on and put a master bedroom in and kind of fucking make the back a little better.
I feel like that kind of thing, like I get the fear where you're like, can I hold on to it? Like, am I going to keep working? But I think that keeps your ass in gear. It keeps you working. You'll never be content or start to get lazy. You got a family, you got like a mortgage. You have, because Steve Byrne, I think, said that a while back where he was like, getting married and having a kid made me work extra hard. Because he's like, well, I got a wife and kid to support. So I'm creating a TV show now. Dude. And I'm going to get it made.
Let me, I will tell you, that is the one thing I will say is like, if you can't find that extra oomph to bust your ass and work twice as hard as you've ever worked,
go knock
after having a kid, you got to stop.
After.
Yeah, no. Once you knock a woman up,
you're going to be successful,
dude. You won't be successful, but you're going to be working. Because the second
done, I'm going to go blow a load in a girl.
It's all
no
it takes.
Condom.
It's just take a Xanax.
Find out her name after. Yeah. What's your name? All right, because I'm going to start working way more, and we're going to have this baby.
It's the fucking. I mean, I look at my schedule now. My schedule is over fucking whelming.
It's
like
great.
we're looking at the season tickets for the Rams.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to cancel some of these weekends so you can. But I don't work on Sundays. It's a Joey Diaz law of fucking stand up comedy.
Dude, I just adopted that. Like, I didn't even know he had. I got to talk to him about this.
Joey Diaz is the first thing he said, dog, you're fucking cutting your Sundays. And I was like, why? He goes, Sunday you need to be home with your family. You need to be home with your family on Sunday.
Yeah.
You need to be there, have dinner with your family, start your week Monday morning fresh.
Yeah.
And that's Joey's.
Sundays are for like, you it's to recenter. Like, I don't have a family.
Yeah.
I mean, I go visit my family though. Like my parents and stuff. That's a thing I do.
So great to recenter your fucking.
Yeah, you just like chill out because you can't. This is one of those careers that is 24 hours a day. Like, there's no break.
Joey Diaz will not like. I was talking to someone and they're like, yeah, I wish we could get you and Joey Diaz to start doing your Sundays. You guys would make more money. And I was like, what? And they're like, Joey will not budge. And Joey's selling out everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He will not budge. He's like, fuck
cool.
it. He's working hard as shit, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the truth, man. As soon as you have a family, like I told my wife, I was like, I can't cut these weekends. How do you think we're paying for these fucking tickets?
Right.
Like I fly out every morning, Sunday morning at the first crack of dawn to try to make it to these games.
Yeah.
This year, we'll see how that works.
That's awesome.
But
I really
yeah,
want to go to a Rams game.
I you know what I was saying? This is what I was. One of the things I want to talk to Al and Bill about. But like, I was like, me, Al, and Bill, and fucking someone else should buy just cheap seat fucking season tickets for all things comedy, and just let everyone in the company use them for whenever they want. Like, you know, like just put them out there and go, hey, there's a sign up list. If you want the tickets, it's fucking nosebleed, but it'll be a blast. You go to the Rams game, tailgate. I'll be tailgating every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, Bill will be tailgating.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be, you're going to fucking find someone great to tailgate.
Of course. It'd be
And
so fun.
it's like, and we were saying it's $300 for fucking season tickets for cheap
so
nosebleeds.
Good. That's so good.
So like, and then my wife goes, why the fuck would you buy those? I go, because if I was a young comic and someone said, hey man, do you want to, when I was a young comic, someone said, hey, you want to go to a Lakers game? And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, the tickets aren't the best. I go, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to a Lakers game.
Yeah, it's about the whole experience. It's about like for football or whatever, let's tailgate, let's bond with a friend, you know, and have a good time, drink some beers, eat some food.
It's all about the tailgate.
Yeah, you're only watching half the game anyway.
Bill Burr's going to have the best goddamn tailgates in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
It's because he loves this shit.
Yeah.
And we just got to get him to fucking have a TV show in the city so we can all go to his tailgate.
I know.
Guys, everyone focus on Bill Burr's career for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start sending emails and tweets.
Do you spend a lot of time watching shit online?
Watching like what?
Like just the YouTube and shit?
I used to more, but I had to wean myself off of like just going down internet K-holes and then going, oh fuck, it's now 4:30 in the morning.
Dude.
It's not healthy.
I talked to my therapist about it. I go, it's a form of addiction.
Oh, for sure.
Like when you get on Facebook and you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and next thing you know, you're fucking 13 weeks away from the day you started scrolling.
I know.
And you're like, oh shit, he got bit by a spider.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm watching him lose his leg. Like,
I remember once I was like gonna go meet up with a friend for like eat dinner, get some drinks, whatever. And I had like an hour and a half, and I was like, oh, I'll go write for a little bit. And then I sat down on the couch, took my phone out, opened Facebook, and 70 of the 90 minutes had passed the next time I looked at the time. Like I just opened my phone, I was like, oh, Facebook, and then I looked at the top of the screen, and I was like, I'm going to be late to dinner.
yeah.
And then I looked at it like, how many times a fucking day do I do that?
Dude,
And then how many hours a week? And then I'm like, how many of those hours could I spend doing something productive? And then I was like, no more of this shit.
that's the way you got to live it. Right now, Snapchat's my addiction.
Yeah, I'm starting to get hooked on it.
Ooh.
'Cause
I'll give you some really good ones. Fat Boy Ferrari,
Oh, no, what's that?
Rick Ross,
that could be
DJ
good.
Khaled's pretty
I started
fun.
following him.
He's pretty
so
fun.
bizarre. Yeah, everything's a key.
Everything's-
They don't want you to. You're like, who are they? Like, but you keep.
You want to talk about going down a fucking K-hole? Hold on one second.
Yeah.
This is the guy you got to follow. Hang on. I'm going to find this so that I can share this with everyone because this is even better. What's his name? H3H3 Productions.
And he's like, he's kind of like Khaled or however you say it. DJ Khaled?
No, oh, this guy's so fucking funny. No, he does. He does H3H3. He does a reaction video to DJ Khaled that is so fucking funny. DJ. It is so fucking funny. Where is it? Oh, fuck. And, well, not like I can play this whole thing. But basically, he does a reaction video to DJ Khaled having celebrating holding down. Just take a look at this for a little bit. So he's clearly a millennial from Brooklyn.
Clearly.
Because he's shooting in what I actually called video camera mode. That was like a real thing for me.
Yeah,
but
90s camcorder.
But it's him watching DJ Khaled and being just cynical about. Here, I'll see if I can go big screen. I just love the way this guy talks.
I'm getting excited by this music here, guys. Get me pumped up, dude. Woo! Woo! Wow.
Pouring it underwater.
Fulfilling his gay fantasies. Taking a freaking giant bottle of cum to his face. Enjoy this, my friend. Ooh, that looked painful. Whoa!
The fuck?
What just happened? You smart Lord. Oh my god. I can't tell if he's doing a parody of himself. I just got blown away a little bit. I wasn't ready for that. Look at that.
Is that a real
body,
sex
though.
tape?
God damn, he's got just one big fold there between his body. Holy smokes, man. I feel bad for that girl. It does not look like she's having a good time. She's just getting freaking pounded, dude. You're smart. You're loyal. You're a genius. I love you. Let's have tender lovemaking. Pound you, bitch! Take it!
Well, wait, my favorite part's coming up. Hold on. I got to show you my favorite part.
Can't really top that. But...
Hold on.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. DJ Khaled's in the shower naked, and he's got his best man, the director, Evan, behind the camera.
Oh my god.
Told you he was a fuckboy. Ivan, shout out to Ivan, who just got the fucking show of a lifetime, man. Holy smokes. Let's continue on.
I love this. It's his,
So he just watches his
he
videos
just watches
and
his
shits all
videos and
over
just
him.
shits on him. And I ended up watching like 5 of his videos. And then in my head, I'm like, so that's the point I make to you, where I go,
Yeah.
like I fucking, there's so much shit out there that you could like critique. Like I was like, a part of me wanted to critique a long time ago. I wanted to critique poorly made reality shows and call them out on their lies. Because there's so much shit where you go, that's not that's
that
not
was
real.
staged.
Yeah,
That was
that's totally
edited.
staged. Hey, Bar Rescue, how are you getting audio on the 3 guys that just walked in off the street? That's
Right.
impossible. That's not. You need to have mics on them. Someone had to walk up and go, "Hi, my name's John. I'm going to be putting a mic on
Sign
you."
this form.
Yeah,
You need to be-
you can't just.
That was
shoot
a
people.
2-hour process.
Yeah, that's a 2-hour process. They've been waiting.
They're perfectly
in a van.
lit.
Like I know that, and so like
Yeah,
it
totally.
drives me nuts. You're like, oh, okay. So this guy signed off on you doing a show about him smoking pot while working and spitting in people's foods. He'll never work again.
Yeah.
You're telling me that guy signed off on that.
Right.
But that like something like that, like just I go like I was talking to Eric Abrams about it last night, and I was like, I said this a lot. I go, and this is something Travel Channel said to me like fucking 6 years ago, and I don't think I heard it until now. But passion begets passion. So like whatever you're passionate about, if you or what like that thing that you like, you look at like Getting Doug with High.
Yeah.
It's such a good series because Doug loves getting high.
Yeah.
He loves getting high, and he just loves sitting around and bullshitting when he smokes pot.
Yeah.
And that's why that show's fun. He'll never stop doing it. He's passionate about it. Doug loves movies.
Yeah.
Doug loves should be the predicate or the preface to the way every comic thinks. What do you love?
Yeah.
Like what do you love?
Do that.
And then how can you put it out in a way where we get to share what you love?
Because that's a bottomless well. If you actually love something you're passionate about, you're always going to want to get up and do it. You have new ideas surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug's built like an empire off pot because he loves pot.
Yeah.
And the things around it. And he's
What do
good
you-
at pot.
I do this Call in Sick to Work show tour that I do, where I go in, I do radio, I drink on radio, go right to the club at like 11 or 12,
Yeah.
and we do a noon show.
Oh,
I
wow.
love morning drinking. I love it.
Yeah.
Like I love it. And I'll never stop doing these because they're so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
And adversely, and I don't know if it's passion begets passion, but they've sold out everywhere I've ever gone. So
Right.
like I'm sure people are sharing in passion with me.
Yeah,
and that's
totally.
the thing that I go, so like what do you love and how can you show me what you love?
Yeah.
Like that maybe that's the way to look at this business. What do you love and how can you show me what you love? Because
Yeah.
this guy
That's,
loves
you know-
fucking shitting. There are guys that
Yeah.
love shitting on whatever's working.
Yeah.
You know? On finding the person that found the niche.
Yeah.
You know, like
And they just want to roll their eyes at it and go, oh, really, that? And then
Like-
make fun of it.
think of how many people teamed up with David Cross when he shit on Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Because they were like, because, you know, Larry the Cable Guy is a fantastic person.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic act.
Yeah.
But there was a big portion of America that didn't identify with
Yeah.
it.
They were like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. And so they, like, that's the crazy thing. Like what do you love?
I love music. and I love like style, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like food and travel, like all those.
You take
things together.
great food pictures on your Instagram.
Thanks.
You really do. I was like, I literally saw it today, and I was like, I kind of want a burrito.
right. Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's just fun to. I don't know why it's just fun to do, because it's like everything you can do on Instagram. People can roll their eyes at. Or you take selfies, you take pictures of food, you take pictures of cars, and then you're like, it's a fucking photo website, like or an app. Like you're gonna. What do you want me to take pictures of things I don't like? Like these are the things I enjoy. Like I love coffee. Like so
Really?
I'll go to like coffee shops and like take pictures of. Like
all right.
I know way too much about coffee
So, okay.
for no reason besides I really love it. But then you post those pictures, some people make fun of you. But fucking 2 days later, they're somewhere in Portland doing a gig, and they're like, "Hey, where are the coffee? Where do I get coffee? Where do I get food? Where do I get clothes? Where do I get this? Where do I do that?" And you're like,
you should.
You are asking me, motherfucker.
I would, if I were you, I would do like I'm just spitballing, but what I think would be cool because I recently have gotten back into coffee.
Yeah.
Where I'm like I started going. I stopped ordering just black coffee, and I was like, I'm going to treat myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to allow myself to enjoy it because I always felt like, oh, I don't want the calories. But then I was like, well, fuck, it's not that many calories, and it's calories that are going to end up being negative because I like burning the calories. But like, what it would be cool, what I think would be cool. Say you had a vlog, and you just walked in, you found the place where you want to get good coffee, maybe good food, and they've got like a nightlife scene where they have like spoken word or music. You get young artists, and you use their music to drive through your everything, and you just do it every city you go to.
Yeah.
And you just shoot it and put it up. Today, we're in Seattle. We're going to go to my favorite place in Seattle.
Yeah.
We're going to have coffee. We're going to get something to eat, and we're going to see some live music.
Yeah.
That would be I mean, that's like, and the thing is, you love it.
Yeah.
So it would be something where every week I go, oh, this is going to be good. Or, oh, shit, I'm going to Seattle. You know what? I wouldn't mind getting in my car. Like, there's something nice when you go, I'm getting in my car to go get a nice cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
It's the ritual of it. I love it. Or making it at home.
Yeah.
Or driving to the place and like ordering it and then standing there watching people start their day or like go about their day. Like there's just some comforting thing about it, and then it tastes fucking great.
yeah.
It's like a perfect thing to do.
I would love something like that. I would love to watch it mostly because you'd be into it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
But like that's something you could do, and you could put up. You could fucking bang out 13 of them, and then I guarantee you, some network calls you up and they're like, "Hey, can we acquire your material?
Yeah.
Do you have more footage? Can we edit it into a 22-minute show? Do you mind if we clump them? What if we sent you out to Seattle? I mean, would you do that if they said, what if
Fuck
Travel Channel was
yeah.
like, we'll send you out to Seattle, find the best roasters, the best places to get coffee, best place to get like I love when you get like I went to this one place in Michigan. I think it was in Michigan. And I was on Yelp. I love Yelp.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I searched BLT.
Right.
And they made a BLT with homemade bread, fucking thick bacon, big beefsteak tomatoes. And I wrote a review about this place.
Wow.
And I wrote a review so aggressively about how this BLT changed my life.
Yeah.
But like, I would love. There was a guy who used to have a show, George something, on Travel Channel where he just ate burgers.
That's
It was
awesome.
called like Burger Time, or not Burger Time. I think that was a video game.
Yeah, that was like a movie. Or,
This is called Fat Burger. No, it's called Good Burger.
Yeah. In-N-Out Burger?
He was a young black guy with dreadlocks, and he had a fat friend,
Right.
who's now actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, I'd love to see that shit. I just believe that way. Like, you know, find the things you like, and or like, what would be cool is to see you like with fashion.
Yeah.
Take apart it backwards. So like I would love like if you did like a research history on skinny jeans.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did we get to skinny jeans?
Yeah.
Like
why did we get to skinny?
How
Yeah.
did it get there though? Like that would be fascinating.
Yeah.
It would be, that would be
Like the history of this weird style, and then
or the
go
history
through.
of why jeans are what they are, like why you have skinny jeans. Well, how did acid wash become popular?
Yeah.
Like that would be badass.
Totally.
I mean, that's a lot of work. I'm sure you got to fucking read
It's
a
all
book
like
on
research,
jeans.
stuff like that. But I know a lot about denim. Like
Really?
it's really. It's just like we just live in an age where you can you're like, I want to know about this, and then you open up your computer, and then like a week later you have all this crazy knowledge, and you can reach out to people that know a lot about that stuff and talk to them, so you can get like all kinds of like information for free right away, and then you can like turn that into like a product if you want, you know, because you have the resources available. Like you can go, I'm doing a podcast about this thing, or I want to do a vlog or a web series about this specific thing, and everyone else can just type that into the coffee show, and then it'll pop up, and there's an audience for it. It's so niche now that you can do a show or a podcast or whatever about a very specific thing, and like there'll be a market for it. It might not be huge.
What's the last thing? I'm going to go look at mine too, because mine will come up. What was the last thing you got that you like laying in bed and you're like, I wonder about this, and you fucking and then you became a mini expert on?
Oh, it was I think it was something UFO related.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what is it was like the history of like a certain UFO crash or something that happened, and then I started reading about like Roswell again, and like certain accounts of like UFO crashes in the 50s and shit, and I was just like, I'm not even that interested in this today. But you read a couple articles, you're like, well, I didn't know that, and then 4 hours later,
you're
like, there's a conspiracy.
Okay, you ready? I'm gonna tell you the things that have interested me within this past weekend. Okay, let's see. Mount Everest, because I'm watching these guys on Snapchat.
29,028 feet.
Summit Mount Everest, yes.
That's how big it is.
Cowlicks.
Okay. That's such a random... Yeah, I love it.
I'm interested in cowlicks. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder what the person who has the most cowlicks looks like. Like, I wonder if there's a guy out there that's got like...
all cowlicks.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay.
Let's see. This is all that Smokey and the Bandit. I was looking for Smokey and the Bandit jacket. I got obsessed with Smokey and the Bandit, and I was like, I bet you could buy that jacket right now. That's 'cause someone's got to still be making that.
Yeah.
Skrillex and Justin Bieber. Kevin Hart's brother. Cataracts. Glaucoma. Lori Petty. These are the things I've just been like.
Maybe I have them on my Safari.
Man, Kevin Hart's brother's all over this because he came to my show in D.C.
Yeah. I looked up the Village Recording Studio in L.A. because it's like a famous one.
Yeah.
And it's been here since the 60s. Aerosmith, Allman Brothers, Beach Boys, Mariah Carey, Johnny Cash, Ray Charles, Eric Clapton, Elvis Costello, Bob Dylan, the Eagles, Guns N' Roses, Elton John, John Lennon, Little Richard, Smashing Pumpkins, Weezer, all recorded albums there.
Really?
Yeah. And someone that I'm like interviewing for my podcast recorded part of their album there. I'm like, oh, I've heard of that before. And then I started reading about that and the history and how many music, and then I'm like, I got to find a guy who can get me in there just to walk around.
Yeah,
and check it out.
You could talk to someone and do a full interview about that place.
Yeah, whoever runs it, that would be fascinating. But yeah, I can now know about the Village Recording Studio.
I got obsessed with the Pi Kappa Alpha rape in 1988.
What is it?
At Florida State. Pi Kappa Alpha was Pike.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like, I got obsessed with the rape, the anti-rape movement in America. And when did no means no show up?
Yeah.
When did it start up? When did advocates start standing up for rape?
Yeah.
And then I was like, that, because now it's like, I think feminism's gone such a like, literally, it's almost like a hair trigger explosion of like catcalling, and it's like everything's just blown up, and it's like, wow. And I was like, I bet that, now I think a lot of people look at feminism and they're like, oh man, catcalling, whatever, it fucking doesn't hurt you or whatever. There's a meathead genre of guy that is anti-feminism or anti-women. And I was like, oh, I bet that was aggressive when the No Means No campaign started.
Probably.
And so I looked up now, and then I remember the first time I ever heard about gang rape was with the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at Florida State. And I was like, you heard about the details, and then I started going like, wow, that's crazy. So those guys are anonymous now because the internet wasn't around.
Yeah, it wasn't around to like upend their lives.
One
forever.
guy went to prison for 3 years, can't find him. Wow. And it's just like, there's one article online that you can find. Like one or two, but like you can't find details about it. There's no women's advocacy group that stood up for the poor young lady that got raped.
Yeah.
That was just like, the rumor has it she was loose. And that's online for reality. And you're like, so yeah, like I got stuck on that. I wonder if my phone, because most of these are on my phone. I wonder if these come from my phone.
Yeah, they're probably linked. Like
That's
if you're
crazy.
using Safari.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both like, it saves the tabs, your searches for both.
Yeah. And so, but like it's really crazy. It's amazing how many other comics names are in here. Like people like Ali Wong, Annie Letterman, like just people who I was like just became familiar with, and I was like, I'm going to Google everything.
Yeah,
I can on them.
immediately you're like, oh yeah, you know where they're from, you know, like with their specials, albums, this and that. Yeah,
it's so crazy.
It's great to have it all that info, but like you just will burn hours in a day just looking up stuff, and then most of it you don't remember 2 days later.
Yeah.
Because the retention value, because you just go, oh, what was that called? Okay, yeah, I got it, and then you move on, and then you didn't really soak it in. You just immediately got it.
And I wonder if it's fucking up my brain because, like, I sat down to do a list the other day. I said this on stage also in D.C., so if you heard it in D.C., big shocker.
Yeah.
But I sat down to do a list the other day, and I went, all right, I gotta call Tony.
Yeah.
I should write down those 5 ideas. And then my brain goes, I wonder when skis were invented. Like, just any whimsical idea you have, you now have the luxury of getting that information immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. How long would it take to walk across America?
So,
and then you could
I've done that.
Someone already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started going, I wonder if I could sail from here to Hawaii. I wonder if that's doable.
Yeah.
Like, let me see who's guys. And you're like, though, there's guys that have done it. There's one guy that did it, and they got like 3 miles off the coast of Miami, and they hit a storm.
Yeah.
And I think he lost, like, and then I watched the whole video of them, him and his brother and his brother's son surviving the ordeal, and I was like, whoa. And he knew how to sail. I was like, all right, that's off the list.
Yeah.
I was like, I had this fucking insane idea. Like, Ari's going to Asia for 3 months,
right?
To like just fucking get off the grid. And I was like,
3 months?
I think so.
That's a while. Did he do that last year?
Yeah,
for like a month.
Ari's a different individual. Like, he really is.
I know.
I'm his friend, but like sometimes I realize just how different we are as men.
Right.
Like, and we're roughly the same age. Yeah. Just so fucking different.
Absolutely.
But I love him to death. So I literally said to myself, I wonder if I could find him in Asia. Like, I wonder if I could.
Yeah, just go there
and find him. Like, I bet I could find him.
Probably.
Like, I almost guarantee I could find him if I used social media and used the internet. But
if you post a few pictures, you're narrowing it down to a 20-mile radius that day.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay. And then I was like, I wonder if I could get a film crew to come with me and find Ari. And then I was like, well, what's bigger than that? I wonder if I could get a film crew to come with me, find Ari, and then take him on 2 days of like the best trip he could ever have, and then leave him. I was like, that'd be fun as fuck.
That would be.
And then I started like going, wonder if I could find Ari, and then set up a bunch of people to fuck with Ari for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And give him the most epic trip he would never forget, but that was all manufactured.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I could do this.
Like a Truman Show type thing.
Right. I get like 3 fucking hot chicks to go to whatever cyber cafe he's going to check emails.
Right.
Right. And then I just have them drop a conversation.
They're like, we're visiting from wherever.
Oh, I got it all locked
party.
in. I've already rented a whole fucking boat. I've got the crew. I've got it all wired with cameras.
Yeah.
And then I go, them say, I wish we could just find a 4th, And then Ari'd be like,
I'm the 4th. Right here.
Well, we have a boat, and it's just us, and we're 3 Swedish exchange students who have an aversion to tops, and we want someone to be on this boat with us for a week. And Ari'd be like, I'll draw plans.
Right.
And then I was like, I bet I could totally. And then I'm like, this is a challenge. And then I was like, I better run this like baseline by Eric Abrams and Ari, and just be like, so you still going to Asia?
Yeah.
So last night I was like picking his brain about Asia.
Right.
And he was like, but yeah, like the ability to give into whim like that.
Yeah.
To literally get pulled off track and just go into the internet immediately is fucking insane.
It really is. I really had to get myself to stop. I had to be aware and go, no. Go
Yeah.
fucking outside. Go look at the sun. Go go talk to someone. Go have lunch with a friend. Go write. Go do something productive, and not just search shit online because it will never end.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like finish the internet.
It's
and be like,
never
I found
gonna
everything.
end. I mean, today I was watching I'm laying in bed. I'm like, I got to get over to my buddy's house.
Yeah.
I turn on my phone, and it's a prank video this kid did with his dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like laughing, and then I scroll more. It's addiction. It really is addiction.
Yeah.
It's as bad as video games and alcohol and
all that.
porn.
Yeah, for sure.
And like,
there's a thing called 30-second fights, like a Twitter account or
I
whatever.
wish you had never said this.
I know. And in my head, I'm like, oh, this is way better than watching like a 4-minute video because it's just a quick. But then I watched 80 30-second fight videos, and then I was like mad that they were starting to repeat. I'm like, what? There's no new ones? How's a guy supposed to take a shit and not have fucking time to kill? Bullshit Twitter fucking.
How did I take
account.
shits before? Like, I'm literally like,
Oh, dude,
what did I do? Just stare at the wall?
No, you know what happened? You just took like quicker shits.
I'm fucking sitting. I got the squatty potty now, so I sit with the squatty potty with a Snuggie on and an iPad and an iPhone. I got an iPhone and an iPad, and I'm doing Flipbook on one. I'm checking fucking Snapchat on the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
There's gonna be like a whole like new like set of like back problems that people have.
It's called Tech Neck. Have you ever seen it?
No,
I got it.
From
Tech Neck. I've got it. It's from staring at your phone like this. It goes all through your shoulders and into your neck.
Fuck. Oh, like when you're standing up, like looking down.
And so the way you're supposed to, I don't know what I did with my phone. Oh, now I'm starting to have a panic attack. The way you're supposed to, what did I do with my phone just to show you? The way you're supposed to look at your phone is
like up.
Is like this. You're supposed to look at it. I learned this from the sun.
Then it looks like you're taking a photo.
It looks like you're videotaping everyone. So I do it right, and in Starbucks, and people are like, "Excuse me."
Yeah,
I'm like,
can
"No,
you not?"
I
Yeah.
learned this in the Supple Leopard. Like, you're supposed to hold your phone like this. It really does help your neck out.
Yeah.
And then if you hold it like this, and you're getting older and you're getting eye problems, you're holding it like this,
Yeah.
and it really looks like you're videotaping people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be. I mean, I bet the cases of ADD and I've always said this, and this is, by the way, this is an uneducated opinion. What I'm about to say. So if you have a problem with it, realize I'm just having a conversation, and I'm saying an idea, and it's not bad. It's just an idea. But I started wondering if autism was part of the progression of people, because quite honestly, this not like severe autism, but low on the spectrum is part of what we are anyway. Doesn't like to be fucked with, doesn't like to be touched, doesn't like to be talked. Very fucking honest. You know, it's like by the way, I don't have a degree in anything, so I'm just saying this based on a couple guys, friends, kids I know.
Right.
And so, fucking Priscilla. And so you start wondering, like, that's the way we are anyway. Everyone's in their phone. You don't need anyone to shake your hand anymore.
That's true.
No one's touching anyone.
So you're saying you wonder if like it triggers it in people, or like
Wonder if it's just part of like
it's more
we
likely
had to
to
lose our tail
develop.
at one point because we didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
I guess humans. We had a fucking primordial nub or whatever.
Yeah.
And then finally it just shaved off our tail or our appendix. Stuff we don't need. I wonder if this is just a transformation in our brain that's happening. They're like, listen, man, the world's changing. This is how one day we're all going to be like that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be a gregarious hunter anymore.
Right.
You know, like panic attacks. By the way, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just to be very clear, but like
just to refresh, I have zero clue what I'm saying.
Zero clue. I'm just literally shotgun thought. But like panic attacks, I believe, are based on the fact that you needed that trigger when you were hunting animals in the wild.
Right.
And then sometimes that trigger, these are all thoughts, I don't know if I'm right. Sometimes that trigger's left over in us. So I have like a hunter's spirit, but I'm stuck in a gatherer's world. And so sometimes getting stuck in traffic or on a plane, I start freaking out because my body's not supposed to be in a plane. My body's not supposed to be in a fucking
in a big
tube.
crowd. Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be waiting in lines. My spirit would never wait in a line.
Yeah.
So getting in a line fucking stirs me up.
I wonder if that'll happen to people more because of kind of the opposite. Like you're isolated so much more now. So then when you are in a crowd or in traffic, you're that much quicker to like lose it.
Yeah.
Because you spend 5-6 hours a day just in a phone, in a computer, alone, or around one or two people. Or I mean, you don't talk to people really. You're texting.
No one's
or you're
talking to anybody.
messaging. Yeah.
No one's talking to anybody, and everyone's on this platform where their opinions matter. I mean,
Right.
you know how hard. By the way, once again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And if I'm saying something I've heard on a podcast, I apologize.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hard it was to have an opinion. Like when I was a kid, you had to
Yeah.
fucking Culver City. Who the fuck's this? Someone just called me from here the other day. We're not answering it. But like you had to like write a letter to a network.
Oh yeah.
Like when people really put in complaints for All in the Family or whatever, that had some fucking validity to it. They
Yeah.
wrote a fucking letter. Nowadays,
type
everyone.
that shit out and like find an envelope and a stamp, go to the post office, mail it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a throwback to when offense didn't matter. Like when I was a kid, if you got offended by something, you were just like, "Well, I can't change it.
Yeah.
Fuck it."
Or you would just like learn to deal with it. I think there's somewhere in the middle. Like right now we're on an extreme where everything's offensive all the time and you're like, whoa, I can't say or do or think anything or have an opinion on anything. And it used to be sort of the other extreme where like you were just one guy, your voice didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I just gotta be, eventually we're gonna fall somewhere in the middle where a lot of people do have a voice, and if something really is like racist or sexist or whatever, enough people will say something and it will get heard and a change will be made, but it won't be like a trigger reaction where it's like, everyone's offended, cancel it, fire him, get rid of it. You know, there'll be something in the middle, but it's a little too much now. Not everything is the most offensive thing in the universe.
I think it's like I think the direct. This is going to sound really anti all of our people's opinion, comments' opinion, but I think the direction we're moving in is the right direction. Like I remember moving to New York and being shocked that people didn't say faggot on stage.
Didn't say it.
Like that making fun of gays when I got there was not acceptable. And they were like, "No, we do stand up in the Village." That's
Right,
you don't. You can do like gay jokes, and you could probably say, I take that back. Bill Burr said faggot on stage a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, and so did but there was definitely a line of you had to be respectful of the community there,
Right.
and you couldn't cross the line. And I remember being in that room, being like, it's so funny. I remember one guy went up and he goes, it was this kid from like Staten Island, and he's like, whatever he said. I remember this so brutally, like, it was like so crystal clear. He was like a Guido from Staten Island.
Yeah.
And he said something, and someone said, "Did you say you live in Chelsea?" And he goes, "No, I'm not a Mexican or a faggot." and everyone went, "Whoa." And he goes, "Guys, I'm a comedian." But it was so clear that he wasn't trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He was just being himself.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm a comedian." They're like, there was no joke attached. You just said something hateful.
Yeah.
And what's the matter?
I just wanted to remind you have a meeting
What time?
at 3.
What time is it now?
But I think it's 1, but you have to shower and drive there.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you had enough time.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
No, I have to be somewhere too, so it's kind of perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
I've been looking at this thing. We've been on the tail end of the battery the whole time. I'm like, please don't die out. Please don't die
Yeah.
out. But hold on. I'll tell you this when I get done. I'll tell you when we get done. I had an idea that we were talking about passion begets passion.
Yeah.
That I shared with Brian Baldinger and Eric Abrams and one of my managers, Reg. And he just emailed me about it. It's the dumbest idea in the world, but I think it might be good. Like I'll tell you after.
love it. Okay, yeah.
So that I'll tell it to you dry, so that you can, if you have any ideas how to make it better.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember that so clearly, and I was watching, and I was like, oh, so like people can tell the difference between a joke and hate, because like he offended
Especially
people in that room.
in the moment thing. That's when like
Yeah,
if someone yells something and you snap out of your act and go, hey,
Oh,
and
I'm
then
not a Mexican or a faggot. And
Yeah.
everyone went, oh, and he goes, guys, I'm a comedian. And like, no, just because you're on stage doesn't mean you're a comedian.
yeah, not everything you say.
Not
is-
everything
yeah.
you say is a joke.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's an insight to your soul. Like
Right,
I made
right,
a comment about something about adopting pit bulls and females on stage in DC, and someone's like, "Oh, this has to do with your wife." And I was like, "It does. How can you tell?" And they're like, "Because I know you have a big dog, and I have a problem with my wife. Just lets the dog, like, she puts her on a leash, and she'll just let the dog go walk right up to you, like walk right up to a stranger. And you watch people get scared as fuck.
Yeah,
and I go, babe, you can't do that. And I talked to my therapist about it, and he goes, no, it's because, in her life, she's always been a 5'3" female, and this is one of those times where she's not scared to walk down the street. Like, there's no fear inherent in walking down the street. If a stranger looks at her, she's got a fucking 130-pound beast with her.
Yeah, now she feels like a 6'4" assassin.
And so he's like, you got to understand that side of it. And I went, whoa. But it's so funny that someone in the audience looked at me and was like,
"Yeah,
are you talking about your wife right now?" And I was like, how did you know? He's like, because you didn't need to say pit bulls. You just said bull mastiff. But I could talk to you forever. We got to do this again.
Yeah,
I got to have you and
that.
Kevin come in together. We'll do one together.
That'd be awesome.
Or I could do your podcast.
I was going to say, you do ours. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think Kevin and I did it a long time ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I like do you drink?
I quit.
How long?
4 years ago. This April 2nd was 4 years.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How fucking great do you feel?
Fucking great. Yeah, it's been 4 years, so I don't think about how great. But yeah, and also I just quit smoking cigarettes 3.5 months ago. That was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I mean, like, it just fucking feels so good.
Yeah, I've been with people smoking cigarettes the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
So I think adversely I've been smoking cigarettes.
Right.
And my back hurts, my neck hurts.
Yeah, headaches all the time. I can't see out of my left eye.
Oh,
yeah.
my fucking left side of my face is numb.
Right, yeah.
And
it's crazy.
I was with Greg Barrett last night, and he was talking about sobriety, and I'm just hungover as fuck.
Yeah, and you're like,
and I'm
what
like,
are you saying?
And I literally was like, in my head, I was like, there's a part of my brain that goes, Bert, listen to what he's saying. And then the other part of me is like, or wait till he walks away and get a cocktail.
Right. Yeah.
And I just was like, I got to get through tonight. That was my fucking theory. But I don't really drink. This week's been tough on me.
Yeah.
With Stanhope and Ari's thing, and
yeah, that's a lot of partying.
Chaz Shank was there, and I'm fucking getting Bingo's there. I hadn't seen her since she ran away.
Yeah.
Fucking Lynn Shawcroft was there, and I'm like fucking just getting obliterated. But I probably won't drink. I don't usually drink when I'm home, and that's why I don't go by the store much.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, because then it's just like it falls apart.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you have like a bottom when you quit, or did you just quit?
Not really. It was just more of like an anxiety, depression sort of kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just getting like really hard to just deal with myself. And then that wasn't helping. And I was like, I didn't want to wake up at 35 and be like, oh, I'm an alcoholic, or like this turned into a fucking problem.
Oh, you should try it at 43.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I'm glad that's...
So I just needed to, I was like, I got to remove this for a while. And I never went to meetings, never did the AA thing. It was just like, I got to not do this for a while. And then I just, 3, 4, or 5 months, just forgot about it.
Really?
Yeah, it was really weird.
That's interesting. I every time I quit drinking, I'll stop for like a month, and then it's really hard to get me to start drinking.
Yeah.
But the problem I have is that I get into a place where I'm like, where it's like an event. Like I won't drink for a month, and then I'll go, well, New Year's Eve, I'll drink on New Year's Eve, and my wife will want me to drink, and all my friends will be like, "Come on, we got a party bus. We're all going here.
Yeah,
you should do it." And I'm like, "Okay."
You're like, well, there's a party bus, fine.
And then, of course, since it's my first night back, I go fucking hard as fuck in the paint, and then I'm like, "I need some hair of the dog this morning."
Yeah.
But I was thinking about trying to slow down on the road. That's where it catches up with me.
Yeah, you have all this time to kill. Fans are coming up, dude.
I was like, if I started charging people to do a shot with me, I bet I could buy another house.
Probably.
Like, hey guys, it's $20 to do a shot with me. People would be like, fucking done.
Right.
And then you just fucking...
You wouldn't be alive to live in the house, though, is the problem.
I'm doing the shots anyway.
Right.
Fucking doing the shots anyway.
Yeah.
I just switched over to Fireball. I was like, I don't count that as a shot. I was like, let's just do Fireball.
Funny.
But
Fireball's like the spicy Jaeger.
Yeah.
I quit drinking before that was a drink.
Oh,
or before it was at least popular. But I keep seeing people order Fireballs. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, it's like this. I'm like, all right, it's like spicy Jaeger. I did the Jaeger thing when I was 22.
Yeah.
Jaeger Red Bulls. Dude,
do you smoke pot?
No, I never was too big a fan of that. Like,
That's
I did it a little bit.
That dodged out of that at the store.
Oh, dude, the store is just like, it's a pot den now. When I started there, it was everyone drank, and it was way more fun. We fucking partied and did stupid shit, and it was the best. But now everyone fucking smokes pot there. There's not a big drinking culture, and it's just like a lot more boring.
Oh,
Everyone's just zoned out and like, I'm like, guys, do something stupid. Get a blowjob in the main room.
Yeah.
Go be an idiot.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and go, what?
Yeah. Pot for me, if I do happen to do it, I just turn into a giggle machine.
Yeah, well, that's the funnest part.
And I don't like the kind of pot that everyone else likes, where there's like, I just want to be high as fucking the highest I can possibly be.
Yeah,
I like to
you
get
look
just
like you're
a
on
little,
heroin.
Yeah, I just want to get a little tiny. Like I did it. Someone said this, so I'm not sharing any secrets out of school, but I smoked pot to do the roast battle.
Yeah.
And I fell apart laughing.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
so fun to judge.
I don't think I've ever laughed so hard. So I ran into someone last night, and he was like, "I saw you at that," and he goes, "I couldn't tell if you were joking or not." And I go, "I couldn't tell if I was joking or not."
Yeah.
Like at one point, I had the mic, and someone was walking behind me, and I was rambling on. I go, "Are you taking it away from me?" But I was just like, "But they put all that fucking weed out in front of you."
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, a little snack."
They
Oh,
just give it to you as like, here's payment.
yeah. And you're like, "Oh." Oh, yeah. Oh, where do we get? Okay, let's wrap this up, and I'll tell you my two thoughts.
Yeah.
And so the new album is...
It's called 1982.
Yep.
And it's a when does this come out?
When do you want it to come out?
Preferably before Friday, because that's when the album comes out.
For Friday?
Yeah.
I'll release it today.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, pre-sale is now. You can order it now on iTunes. Comes out Friday, May 27th, and then it'll be on Spotify and wherever else you can hear music and comedy and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll release it right now.
Sweet.
What was I going to say?
If that's, by the way, like if you want to wait till tomorrow, that's fine too. If it's like
No.
Yeah.
I'd release it tonight to come out tomorrow.
oh yeah, then perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. This has been a great conversation, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it
This
really
is the
has
reason.
been.
This is the reason you do podcasts.
Yeah, totally.
I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
For everyone who's like, oh, I don't know, I kind of want to start a podcast. This is the only reason I have my podcast,
Right.
is so that I can sit down with you and Kevin and
Yeah.
fucking
And just talk to people
and just
and-
get to know people that you
Totally.
see or you don't. I want to have T-Bone. I haven't talked to him in forever.
Dude, he's the best.
Right?
Yeah,
And
he's
like
so fun. He's a great podcast guest too.
he's
He
so
just
fucking
rolls with the punches. Is like comes up with funny like questions and ideas, and he knows a lot about a lot. And he's a great guy. He's the best. He's been on mine like 4 times.
He's the best. I can't believe I haven't had him on.
Yeah.
And when you texted me, I was like, I can't believe I haven't had Nick on. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people where I go, like,
We tried a couple times, but it was just you were busy. I was on. We were trying to nail down a couple.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah, it's just that happens. I did the same thing with the Sklar's. We were like, what about this day? What about that day? And then they were filming something. I was on the road. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. And then when it does, it does.
oh my God, that just scared the shit out of me. All right, so the album 1982 comes
Yes.
out Friday.
Yes.
You can pre-order it on iTunes right now.
Right this minute.
Go to iTunes. Do this.
Yeah.
Do this. Do me a favor. This is the very end of the podcast. It's almost over. Don't stop right now. Just hang out for 2 seconds. I haven't even told you the best secret yet. There's a really good secret coming up. Go on iTunes.
Yes.
Pre-order his album. Subscribe to him and Kevin's podcast,
Which is called Occasionally Awesome.
Occasionally Awesome.
Yeah.
And while you're at this, if you're on iTunes, leave a review.
Yeah.
Rate it.
Totally.
And bang one out for me too if you haven't done
Yeah.
it. And check it out. Go check out one of the ones with Kevin and Teeb.
Yeah.
And Nick. Like,
Yeah.
what's a really good one they could go to right now that's like your favorite podcast you've done?
We had Ed Templeton on.
Who's Ed Templeton?
He's like a legendary pro skater.
Oh, shut
Yeah,
up.
he's a big deal. Yeah, he's super awesome.
Okay.
We had him on a couple times. There's one where he talked about travel because him and his wife travel a lot. But the initial one was him just telling awesome skate stories from like the 90s and shit.
I'm gonna listen to that.
And he's the greatest guy. He's so cool.
Ed Templeton. I'm
Yeah.
going to look. That's the first one.
Yeah,
I'm going to download that one
Yeah,
now.
the first of the two that he did, and that was like 4 or 5 months ago or something like that. That's a good one. We do a few where Kevin and I recommend stuff to listeners just because they like our weird. Like Kevin's a big art guy. I
Yeah.
know a lot about style and music and that kind of shit. So we do. There's 3 volumes of that, and those are the ones that stand out now. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So good luck on the album, man.
Thank you, dude. Yeah.
And thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on this.
I appreciate it.
Totally.
I hope someone right now is like doing the same little vine swinging of ideas. They're like,
Yeah.
Ed Templeton, and they just go over and click
Right.
it, and all of a sudden they're
Right.
like, oh wow, he partied with Jason Ellis. Huh, Jason Ellis. Well,
Right.
let's look at Jason Ellis's Rex. Click.
Yeah.
And now they're fucking off on 9 different tangents.
Totally.
And you probably forgot to go to iTunes. So go to iTunes.
Oh, by the way, if you don't know if you should get my album. My first album's already on Spotify and Apple Music and
You
all
can get
that.
it for free off your website.
And that's actual episode of the podcast. I just gave it away for free after the 1 year mark.
Yeah.
So I just made it an episode for the subscribers, so you can download it and own it for free or listen
Maybe
to it
I'll
on
do that
Spotify.
with my Comfortably Dumb.
Yeah,
I'll
because
release
after
it.
a while, the people that bought it, and then it's just a cool thing to do for fans.
Yeah.
And there were people that hit me up immediately. They were like, "Finally, was waiting for this to be free." I'm like, "You motherfuckers! Like you were never gonna buy it from the get go."
$10.
I know, and they don't know how far that goes, man. You give out all this free content, and you're like, "Just give me some," you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that album's out there. If you haven't heard that, you can check it out.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.